Hi folks, I was flicking through my videos the other day and I noticed that it's been 2 years since we started the Triumph Acclaim. I've got some jump leads here, let's see if we can get this thing running. It's still got the old stale petrol from 2 years ago in it. See you in a minute. Right, well I've done nothing to it, as you know. The paintwork, although it may look really dirty and filthy, don't forget this has had a respray, this thing, so once it's been cut back and buffed and polished, it will actually look, it will gleam like new again, like it did if you go back and look at the previous Triumph Acclaim videos. Now the situation I was in the last time I started this was that I was going to do the engine timing. I'd done it just by turning the distributor, so because I knew roughly where the marks were on it. And when I come to actually time it up, the timing marks was 180 degrees out, so I couldn't actually time it up. That means I put the belt on with the crank 180 degrees out or something, so I'll have to take the timing belt off or just loosen the tensioner to slide the belt off and then move it around 180 degrees so that I can actually line up on the timing marks. Once I've done that, I'm not going to do that today, I just want to get the thing started today. This is a little quick fast blast video, and what am I rambling for? Let's get on with it. As I said, I haven't seen under here for 2 years and there's loads of leaves in here, so let's just put these over here for now. Could be animals living in here as well, I don't know. Spiders, I can see spiders. Well, it's a bit dusty, but it's all there. And as you say, I did put a new timing belt on this anyway, but little leaves, how do they get in here? Look. So rather than do anything at the moment, I don't know, I'm just going to check the oil. I did do an oil change in this and that's perfect, it's right up to the mark. It's got a new oil filter in it. I'll just check the fluid because I know I filled all this up, but it's just something I want to check before I actually go any further, you know. Right, now the battery's connected, but I think the battery was rubbish in this, to be honest with you, so I just want to see what the fluid level's like. Can't see anything on there, but I might just put a little bit of fluid back in now, I'm not too sure. I don't think it's leaked out. Well, as I say, I did put some oh, it is there, look, it is there. It's just a little bit gurgly. I did put a full bottle of antifreeze in there. Let me just top up the reservoir tank now. Probably just evaporated after 2 years. Right, there's a minimum maximum mark on there, so that's on there. Yeah, that's alright. So that's fresh antifreeze in there, by the way, from... Oh, hear that? Right, let me get the jump leads. Right, so I hope they're going to be long enough, because I think these are 6 meters long anyway, but they go to Sharon's car at the back, so let's just connect these up. Well, the good news is they're long enough. Let me just put put that on the wrong blink. It just shows, doesn't it? Connect that onto the wrong one. That's the positive. That's the negative. That shows. Yep, that's right. So negative. Yeah. Run this out. Handy having these leads, I must say. Right, I'm just going to start Sharon's car. Well, I'm not actually holding out too much hope for this because one, the battery I know is totally flat. Two, the carbs have got 2-year-old petrol in them, and there's not a lot of petrol that was in the car anyway. I think I only put about 5 pounds in it when I first done this, or started it up 2 years ago. But we'll give it a go. We'll see if we can get it going I don't know whether I've got to let it charge up for a bit first, but let's give it a go anyway. Right, so I've got the jump leads on now. I've just called Sharon out to keep her foot on the accelerator in the her car, so I'm going to go around now. It's been ticking over for about 5 minutes now. I'm going to try and jump start this. You keep an eye here in case something goes wrong. Revving, Sharon. Well, it started, and it started reasonably easy. Don't forget that's 2-year-old petrol that's sitting in there. The initial problems I had with it, with the clipping, was that the battery terminals are actually loose, so they're not actually tightened up, and the starter motor cable weren't making a proper connection up at the battery terminal, so that's what that was. Let's have a listen to it anyway. And as I say, don't forget this hasn't been started for 2 years. I've got the choke out at the moment. That sounds a treat. I mean, don't worry about all this around there. I mean, once this is all cleaned up, this will be perfect. The engine bay, when I actually done it, was actually really sparkling and looking like new. Just like the paintwork here, as you can see, it's covered with dust and dirt, but it's fresh lacquer underneath that. As you can see, it's absolutely filthy underneath here, and I don't want to rub it. As I say, I've cleaned it down a couple of times, but it looks bad, but it's not. Well, this is inside the Triumph Acclaim. Let's push the choke in. See, we've got the old manual choke down here. I don't want to go in too far because the ignition timing is not set correctly at the moment. But it's, I mean, it's so responsive. Look. See, I've just turned the choke down a little bit. The as I say, the hunting at the moment is because the ignition timing's not spot on, it's not correct. So that's something I've got to do. But look at this, it's got an old retro Goodman's hi-fi system in there with a tape deck. I was going to take that out, but I think I'll leave it in there. It's a period piece at the end of the day. And the dash is not cracked or anything at all in this. I've still got to line the doors up. I've only bolted them on loosely from a few years ago now. I never got to ground to actually putting the doors on properly, so they've all got to be lined up. There we go, what we got there, look. Up to 4 occupants. It's got the tyre pressures in there, front and rear. All authentic, all original. And last time I put the heater on in here, it was coming out with cold air. And that was purely because the valve, changeover valve in the engine bay was actually seized up, and I took that apart, but it may be seized up again now because it hasn't been run for such a long time. I want to try and get it warmed up a little bit if I can, and just get everything up to operating temperature, because it's been 2 years sort of thing. And as I say, the thing that's impressed me is it's 2-year-old petrol in there, definitely 2-year-old petrol. I know there's not a lot of it in there because the last time we tried to start it 2 years ago, if you look at the previous video to this one, I think you'll find that I had to change the fuel filter on it and all. That was not letting any fuel through whatsoever. It's a bit lumpy, as I say, but that's Could be ignition, or it could be sort of carb setup as well, which I didn't fine tune the carbs, so I was going to get it all done before I actually done that. So that's something which to look forward to in a future video. But it's coming up on temperature now. As I say, I just want to warm everything up. Any water that's in the exhaust, I'd like to try and heat that up and burn it off, rather than it just sitting there and rust it out. Because even though probably an exhaust for this ain't probably too dear at the end of the day, but yeah. I didn't leave the handbrake on. I've never had the handbrake on while it's sitting there. The tyres are flat anyway, I ain't going to roll anywhere. And what have I got left to do to the Triumph Acclaim? I've got the boot to sort out, or the trunk lid. The door furniture's got to go back on the doors here, as you can see. I've got a front gaiter on one of the drive shafts to change over. I've got one of those expandable ones, so I've obviously got to sort the brakes out and basically give it a good valet and clean and polish it up afterwards. And technically speaking, there's no reason why it shouldn't go. I've got to sort the wheels out as well, because they need repainting, and it's going to need 4 new tyres all around. So I'll be doing that. As you can see, the temperature's coming up now. Look, I think the little line indicates normal temperature. As I say, it's running a bit rough at the moment, but it accelerates sweet enough. I've still got the choke on. I've just teased it in a little bit more. As you can see, it's hunting, look. Oh, I've lost it. I don't think there's enough juice to start it. Oh, hello. That's a noisy bearing. What's that? That was a dry bearing. I think that might have been either... Let me go and have a look, hold on. Now, I did have that once 2 years ago. You never saw that on camera, but it was either the water pump. Don't forget I put a new water pump on here, but it might be a cheap one, or it will be the jockey wheel for the cam belt tension. It might be that. It's coming from this area, or it could be the alternator, but that's something I will have to look into. But again, not too much of a problem to sort that out anyway. But hey, the fans just kicked in. See there. But the tappets, top end work which we done, don't forget we skimmed the head, we lapped in the valves, we reset the valve adjustment gaps and stuff like that. The head gasket was gone, as you know. We actually cleaned all the waterways out of the block and the cylinder head, which were totally crudded up. So this engine really just sweetens it up, because there was no wear on the boards whatsoever. Well, I've got it up to temperature now. I'm going to turn it off. There's probably not a lot of juice in it. We've run that stuff out of the carbs at the moment, so there is some in the line. Obviously it could do with new fuel, but at least we know that the carbs are operating correctly, as they should do. You've got to be pleased with that. Top hose is nice and hot, which indicates that the thermostat has opened. We did put a new thermostat in there anyway, so but them sort of things can stick after a while, so that's why it's always good if you had a car which has been standing for a long period of time, run them up to temperature, get everything working, get everything lubricated again. Don't forget, it's got new oil in it, and it's got new antifreeze in it as well, so we just want that pumping all around the system. Let's try the heater. I don't know whether the heater's working again. As I say, because this mechanism down here, let me show you. Go in here, there's a little valve down there. Can't get my hand on it. Down there where the heater pipes go into the bulkhead, that was actually stuck on, or stuck in the closed position before, and I really had to work that through, so that's that. Right, heater controls are off at the moment. Let's put the blower on, and then put that to hot. That's the car, that's the fascia there. Get it circulating around a bit first. It's cool air at the moment, to be honest with you, but hold on, that's on recirc, that's on fresh air coming in. Is that the right? Oh. Right, I'm going to turn that off, because I think that might be that jockey wheel. Let's just disconnect the batteries now. It won't start anyway, I don't think, so let's just put them down there for the moment. Come around here. that off, yep. Just shut that door. Just disconnect them. Well, I mean, I'm glad it's happened. As I say, I wouldn't like it happening if someone had the car, if I did sell it. So I mean, as I've got to take the redo the timing, I can take this off the belt for the water pump and just spin the water pump, spin the alternator manually and see if it makes a squeaking noise. If not, it'll be the jockey wheel which sits behind this lower belt cover there, the tensioner wheel, the idler sort of pulley sort of thing, and it could be that. So I may have to get another one of them or lubricate it up or whatever. So we'll have to see that at a later date anyway. But all in all, for those of you who've been waiting to see the Triumph Acclaim again and wondering what's been happening to it, we've now done an old start, cold start with 2-year-old petrol, and to be honest with it, it's running the dream, apart from that squeaking noise, but we can sort it out. That's no problem whatsoever. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this little quick fast blast one on the Triumph Acclaim, and hopefully we'll see you before another 2 years is up. Thanks very much, see you in the next video, and until then, bye for now.